Yo, what's up guys, it's the Insane Game Freak here to bring you what is probably going to indulge in a very ridiculous rant. So let's get into it, because I honestly don't know what I'm doing to title this video yet. Okay, so if you're a Nintendo fan and you've been watching YouTubes for the last few days, probably the last week or so, Nintendo mentioned this like almost like, I think what was it, like the middle of last year, about doing some type of YouTube partner related program for in the future, which they happen to release the beta today. And you're probably wondering why I screamed the word beta, because I feel like no one seems to understand that this is a beta, and so I want to reiterate the fact that it's a beta. Anyways, I want to preface this video, after I've gone off on that little tangent. I want to preface this video that this that in terms of my views in terms of the program as it is currently, it's shit. It is complete. It's not It's not complete shit, but it's nowhere near to the extent in which I would even suggest trying it right now. Like, it's just not. There's only like one type of person I can think of trying it, and even then I wouldn't suggest it to them. And the people I would suggest, the only people I would pseudo suggest it to, are people who have never been partnered with a network before and just make YouTube content. Like, meaning they've been just going through YouTube through it. So that's one thing. But even then, I wouldn't suggest it, because there's a lot of issues with it. There's a lot of contractual issues that I have something against, and there's a lot of things that I would specifically change. And if you do want me to make a video about the things I think that really do need to be changed, leave that in the description. But I want to talk about some of the response for this, because I don't really have a problem with people lambasting the program before it even gets started, because it'd be better for Nintendo to know beforehand, before they make this shit the full version. I'm actually surprised they even came out with a goddamn beta. They don't even come out with beta for games. Granted, it's not like I really care about them coming out with betas for games, but they don't even come out with betas for games. So the fact that they came out with a beta for this means, to me, shows a sense of learning, even though people won't ever agree with me on that. I'm surprised, because they never come out with betas. But people's reactions to it, not the general reactions, but what that kind of leads into, and the shit that has drove me up the fucking wall. And just to let you know what triggered this, and because I've been debating whether I want to talk about this or not, but what really just set me off was today when I watched the Jimquisition on the topic, and it wasn't even the video as a whole as much as it was a line he says after doing a little trick at the beginning. At the beginning, he replaces the word Nintendo with EA while explaining the program as if it's EA's program. And then after he gets done with explaining it, he goes, "Oh, see, I replaced the word." It's like, "Oh, well, EA's not doing this, Nintendo's doing it." But I replaced the word Nintendo with EA because everyone seems to give Nintendo a free pass on everything. That line, that specific line, drove me up the wall, because I've heard that a few times. And it gets into the overarching issue I have with people talking about the program. People are using the program as a jumping off point to go into their own little personal biases and their own little, armchair analyst bullshit theories, in which they want to fucking start talking about, oh, well, because the Wii U sales are like this, Nintendo really needs the money, and therefore they want to steal from the little guy. That, it's just shit, it's shit like that. It's shit that just keeps coming like this. It's the Wii U's failing. It's Nintendo's broke. It's Nintendo's gonna fall as a company. It's the same bunch of bullshit that it has been. And I want to talk about some things that people haven't mentioned. Other than the fact that people haven't even fucking... I've watched Total Biscuit. I've watched Boogie. I've watched the Jimquisition. For some reason, no one... Fuck you. I don't even think PewDiePie even mentioned it. No one has fucking mentioned that this is a fucking beta. Like, this isn't the end-all, be-all of the damn program. This is a beta for the goddamn program. Now, why the fuck would you release a beta if you were waiting for feedback and input? Granted, usually whatever step you take, if it even hits any corner of the wrong area, you've already fucked yourself. So people are having this ridiculous knee-jerk reaction to a goddamn beta. Now, is the beta flawed? horribly? Yes, it is. It needs a lot of goddamn things about it fixed. That's fine. But I don't fucking care for this bullshit where people not only don't even mention it's a beta, nobody I've looked at so far has mentioned that this is a goddamn beta. Two, everybody's gone into fucking side-swinding fucking, oh, here's my own goddamn agenda I want to push about my issues with Nintendo. And that's what people fucking do. Review Tech is known for doing this all the goddamn time. Half the time he'll mention some Nintendo, anything Wii U related, it's been like that. It's been like, well, something good will happen to the Wii U, and he'll still go right back into the same old goddamn spiel. If you remember that shit, I don't know if he still does it because I don't subscribe to him, but it's the same goddamn thing. We're gonna go right back into our fucking propaganda bullshit. And there are just certain things that people have been saying that have drove me up the wall. People are like, first off, the free advertisement thing, I'm not even going to argue whether that is or is not the point, because my issue isn't even with them saying that it's free advertisement. My issue is how people keep fucking saying, oh, well, this will stop the promotion of Nintendo gaming content and footage. I think PewDiePie said something along the lines of how Nintendo games are now lower on my list. Now, for those who have been on YouTube for a while, you will have realized that Nintendo games don't get pushed, period, anymore. Like, do people not realize the two biggest Nintendo franchises that get the biggest push are Pokemon and Smash. Everything else is like a fucking niche underground. Mario Kart's that way, fucking Zelda's that way, Metroid is definitely that way, and so is fucking Donkey Kong. Most Nintendo IPs don't even get that big of a push on YouTube. How many of the big YouTubers who have fucking talked about this, how many of them even push Nintendo fucking games anyway? People keep saying they're gonna lose so much advertisement revenue and they're gonna go down the shitter. I'm sorry, how many of you guys even really consistently do Nintendo footage? Oh, that's right, none of you! None of you! It's so fucking stupid. It's been like this for years. Don't act like this is a goddamn this year, last year situation. This is a fucking since like 2006 type of situation. Yeah, 2006, 2007. Nintendo has never ever been the push in gaming since YouTube has been around. So don't act like this advertising shit like you guys really, because it's like when PewDiePie goes, now Nintendo games are low. I'm looking at PewDiePie like, bruh, how many Nintendo games have you even pushed? If any. Like, at all. And it drove me up the wall. And then, and let's get on what fucking Jim Sterling wants to say about fucking how everybody gives Nintendo a goddamn pass. This absolutely is the biggest bunch of bullshit I've heard in a while. I've heard some ridiculous shit. That was fucking insane. I'm sorry. Nintendo has gotten shitted on consistently since the fucking... For a while, actually, probably since the N64, but the most vocal has been around the game, kind of the GameCube, but mainly the Wii and Wii U era. The Wii, which was a financial success, still got shitted on for every little thing it was lacking. The lack of the friend code bullshit, the weak ass online, the weak ass hardware, what was the other stupid thing? The interface. Fucking, the fact that it didn't have a unified account system. Every little goddamn thing about the Wii got shitted on. And if anyone fucking tells me that Nintendo seems to get a pass with the Wii U, that's bullshit. Everybody and their motherfucking grandma has said almost every negative thing you could possibly say about that fucking console. So if you fucking sit here and tell me Nintendo gets a pass, the only thing Nintendo ever kinda gets a pass on is their fucking games. And you know why? Because they have quality games. That's not getting a pass. And the only two things he could have been referring to is the Amiibo, which he himself gave a fucking pass on about the whole DLC argument. And what was the other thing? Oh, the charger in the new 3DS. And then people's like, oh, because, you know, people were kind of indifferent. I'm indifferent to it. And people go, well, why is it different? Now, all right, now look, if we're going to level, if I'm going to level with you, I'll say this. Should the thing have a charger? Yes. Am I that mad that it doesn't? Not really. And see, if this was a new console and the charger was brand fucking new and it was a different charger that doesn't work with any of the older 3DS models, I'd be a little bit more pissed. Until you realize that they've been using the same goddamn charger for over a fucking decade. It's the same charger that came with the original fat gray DS, which came out in like 2005. See, that's why I don't give a fuck enough, because it's like, that's not a big deal. And this is my fucking point. If you want to harp on the contract and it being some bullshit, that's one thing. And see, here's my thing. I don't even think about it as bad as people think it is. Like, I don't think, some people just think they shouldn't do it at all. I don't have a problem with a company doing that. They just gotta come at it in the right frame of mind. Nintendo is not approaching this in the right mindset, but granted, this is a beta, so there is always room to improve and for things to change. Because if you've noticed, not many big Nintendo YouTubers have even talked about this. Hell, Nintendo still partners with bigger YouTubers already. Fucking was it? I just saw a goddamn video from Angry Black Nerd and not Angry Black Nerd, no, Black Nerd Comedy, I'm dumb. And fucking Lamar Wilson and iJustine fucking doing new Nintendo 3DS unboxings. So obviously, it's not like they just fucking, and then people keep saying how they're being arrogant and greedy. Okay, see, now, see, people say, oh, see, they don't understand YouTube and the importance it has. And see, I would agree with that if they were just taking everything. But they're not. They don't have to, and people go, but they're being arrogant. It's like they're trying to fucking look down on you by offering you a program instead of just taking the money anyway. What they were doing before, which was just taking the shit from you, which would have been considered way more arrogant and way more douchebaggery. Apparently, because they're offering you something now, and the offering is pretty lackluster by my personal opinion too, it's all of a sudden arrogance. It's all of a sudden arrogance, like they can do no wrong, even though this entire Wii U generation has been them admitting about how they fucked up on things and going through the process of trying to correct themselves. That's all the Wii U generation has been so far, is them kind of trying to reevaluate themselves in terms of a console and company. That's why you have a lot of experimentation going on this generation for them. And you want to fucking sit there and tell me that it's arrogance and they want to take all your money and they're just being dicks for the sake of being dicks. No, they obviously don't get this shit that well, but they're making a tip to get it. And see, look, and as I keep telling you, the current program as it stands, if it does not change, do not fuck with it. And see, people don't understand, since this is a goddamn beta, which, you know, people can now voice their opinions, tell what. I think Nintendo has gotten a fuck ton of feedback in terms of what the fuck is wrong with the damn thing. Therefore, it's not like you really need to keep harping on it, but I don't really care, because, you know, the whole point is so they get it. Nintendo is kind of thick-headed when it comes to this type of shit. So, I'm fine with them harping on how bad the contract is. But don't fucking sit there and confuse people and get the shit twisted. Nintendo has never had a large share in terms of the gaming side of YouTube. Never. Never. Don't fucking lie to these people and say that that is not the case. Also, don't fucking sit there and say Nintendo gets special treatment. Actually, Nintendo is the only company out of the three that has managed to get hated on for not getting hated on enough. Are you fucking kidding me? Because that's what Jim just fucking said for the most part. He goes, because Nintendo seems to get a pass for everything. So you're shitting on Nintendo because Nintendo doesn't get shitted on much. Really? Really? And I want... Really? Who in the fuck even said that? That's all the Wii and Wii U and some of the GameCube generation was. It's how they were getting shitted on. Almost every console of theirs has been shitted on for various different fucking reasons. And let me also approach another guy then, see? And then all the complaints that we got, and there's one fucking complaint that drives me up the wall too. Why is it that when Nintendo doesn't have enough goddamn gritty, realistic games, that's a problem and a cause for concern for everybody and their grandma to keep talking about. But when it's the reverse, like Microsoft, for example, who only has really just gritty, realistic games and doesn't have enough cartoony games, but no one fucking says anything. And that will get into something I'll make another video about later. But I just want to fucking put that out there. There's a lot of people doing a lot of that fucking armchair. I'm going to throw out every other bias I have against Nintendo while talking about how bad the program is. And look, the program is bad. I'm not fucking saying it's well done. It's not. But the program existing is not a bad thing. Nintendo will always get shitted on every time it does something different. Almost everything it's done so far has gotten shitted on. I mean, Even when it came to its games, I mean, look, you look at Skyward Sword gets shitted on. Wind Waker got shitted on. Wind Waker has just now kind of got back into the portion of, yay, we like Wind Waker now. Wind Waker got shitted on up the ass when it was first revealed. It was insane. Why is this always a thing? And then, oh, and let's not forget the most infamous thing, how Nintendo fans feel like that there's a bias towards their company, and no one fucking believes that shit. And then you have things that like this that come out and people want to start throwing out their fucking opinions about dumb shit. Here's my thing. I don't think the programming itself is so bad to where it shouldn't exist. I feel like it just needs to be restructured and changed in different ways. And also, it needs to be really fucking emphasized that you're fucking looking at a beta. I've never seen someone rag on a beta this hard without even mentioning the fact that it's a beta. Like, it's like, how did you look up all the information on the damn program and then forget to mention that it's a goddamn beta? The fuck? But then, and then you have the niggas who say the line, and I've already ranted about this before, but the fucking, I'm a Nintendo fan. I don't even want to get into that bullshit. But I'm trying to make a goddamn point. Don't fucking say Nintendo gets a pass. Nintendo has never gotten a pass with anything, especially in these last 2 to 3 generations. They haven't gotten a pass for shit. The Wii Remote gets shitted on for its controls and its infrastructure in general, and the GameCube got shitted on because of its goddamn disk space, because of the type of disc it used, and even the damn games that it had. Fuck you when you. Fuck you. That's all I have to say at that point, bruh. The program is not, I don't feel like the program shouldn't exist because there are some Nintendo focused channels, and actually I feel like that's what this thing is supposed to be appealing to. Not the ones already in networks, but the ones that don't have networks. Because because every fucking one has talked about how, well, if you wanted to do a Nintendo video, you would essentially, you know, the whole split between YouTube, Nintendo, and you versus what it was. No, YouTube, the network you're with, and Nintendo and you versus, you know, YouTube, Nintendo, and you, which I think is what they're going for. They're not going for the big ones because the big ones already are signed with networks. This is like, why isn't Nintendo the only one that is in that position? And I understand because it's a gaming company, so their videos can be spread out across a whole bunch of different types of channels. But the point I'm trying to make is you can obviously tell they're kind of coming at it from the standpoint of you don't have a goddamn network. You're not with a network. Therefore, that argument would be voided purely just based on that. If you're a new channel, that argument means nothing to you because you're not with that goddamn network. Shit's insane. As I said, it's not perfect. I mean, just to get into a few things that suck about it, the fact that you can arbitrarily change how much you and Nintendo get, that is a fucking problem in its own right. Nobody in the right, that in itself is enough to be like, fuck it. You know, you have what's the other thing that pissed me off? The fact that it's a Nintendo program and you can't even use all Nintendo games. You can only use specified ones. That just doesn't make sense from a goddamn legal standpoint. The only thing I can think of that stops that is the whole obvious, some games they have a third party so they don't have the rights to say that, you know, you can use it considering they don't technically own it, which would explain why maybe games like Bayonetta and even Smash Brothers, because that does include Sega and Capcom characters, and it was co-produced by Bandai Namco. I mean Namco Bandai, but you know, that's the only thing I could come up with. Even that's still fucking stupid. What was the other thing that I thought was asinine? People also don't realize that this is really just for Japan and US. So when it's like, oh, because I think Total Biscuit brought up the whole conversion rate for euros. Fuck you, phone.